this young man because he did an outstanding recitation of the Emancipation Proclamation. And I was floored by his oratorical skills. Come to find out that he actually came in first place with the clerk of court has a oratorical competition every year, and he placed first in that oratorical competition. So I immediately told the chair, I was like, we need to get him to come and present at the Board of Commissions meeting. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you all for a Black History Month recitation, Mr. Barkley Dowdy.
I want to thank all of those who are responsible for having me here tonight. And I also want to thank God for allowing me to be here. But I only have 3 to 4 minutes to take you on a Black History tour. And I want you to know that there is no height, age, or physical requirement to ride this ride, because my hope is to change or inspire everyone's perspective on the resilience and value of the African American people. With that being said, let's talk about Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch, he was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his methods to slave owners there, hence where the word lynching comes from. Allow me to quote this excerpt from his letter. "Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. Test her in every way, because she is the most important factor for good economics. If she shows any sign of resistance in submitting to your will completely, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract that last bit of expletive out of her. Take care not to kill her, because in doing so, you spoil good economics. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in their early years to submit to labor when they become of age. We have reversed the relationship. In her natural, uncivilized state, she will have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male, and she will have a limited protective tendency to her independent male offspring. She will raise her male offspring to be dependent like her. We have reversed nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigger apart, and by bullwhipping the other to the point of death, all in her presence. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from a psychologically dependent state to a frozen independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will train her male and female offspring in reverse roles. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. And since she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offsprings to be psychologically independent as well. And what have you got? You got the nigger woman out front and the nigger male behind and scared. By throwing the nigger female savage into a frozen psychological state of independence, by killing the protective male image, and by creating a submissive dependent mind of the nigger male slave, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male and female slave. Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male and female slave. Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male and female slave. Now, for my response to Willie Lynch. Longevity has its place, in that your greatest fear, a reshift in the male and female slave, has come to pass. Moreover, the phenomenon that you dreaded the most has permeated these United States of America. I thank God for the reshift called the Freedmen's Bureau case of 1865, which set up one of the first black schools, one of which was Howard University, which would eventually train and graduate the majority of the legal team that overturned Plessy versus Ferguson, including Charles Hamilton Houston and Thurgood Marshall. I thank God for the reshift in 1868 called the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which overruled Dred Scott versus Sanford. It guaranteed that all persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States and of the state in which they reside. I thank God for the reshift in 1909 called the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, which was founded by W.E.B. Du Bois, Eda Wells Barnett, Mary White Ovington, and others, whose primary mission was to eliminate lynching and to fight racial and social injustice primarily through legal action. I thank God for the reshift in 1939 called Thurgood Marshall, who was named special counsel of the NAACP and would eventually become the lead counsel in the Brown versus the Board of Education case. And I thank God for the reshift on May 17th, 1954, called Brown versus the Board of Education, which overturned Plessy versus Ferguson and declared that all racial segregation in public schools violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. I thank God for the reshift on May 31st, 1954, called Brown 2, when the Supreme Court handed down an order that desegregation occur with all deliberate speed. And finally, the phenomenon that you didn't want to happen for the black male and female slave, and spoke of in fear, is named Barack and Michelle Obama, former First Lady and President of these United States of America. Thank you.
Good job, man.
Another round of applause. He is certainly one to watch.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We certainly do appreciate his oratorical skills, and we certainly appreciate Commissioner Washington encouraging him and his father to come out. And I want his father and his parents, all of them, both of them are here. Stand up so we can recognize you. Yes, let's give them a round of applause. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Ms. Bloodworth, we understand the very importance of parental involvement, and it is evident that Mr. Dowdy has some very strong and supporting parents, making sure that he will continue to be the bright and shining star that he already is. Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're now moving, commissioners, to the approval of the agenda. And
Just the agenda review.
Just the agenda review for tonight. Thank you so much. All right. So, Ms. Malone.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman. Wow, how do I follow that?
I know.
You just get in where you fit in, that's all.
That's right. Okay, item number 2020-82 is a grant change order to add an additional $5,000 from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council for the Superior Court Adult Drug Court, an additional $5,000.
Okay, so you can repeat that. An
additional $5,000. Okay. Item number 2020-83 is a contract with Amy Mae Minette. This is for recreation and maintenance for the tennis coaching for adults and youth at Johnson Park and at the Rockdale Tennis Center. This is a 70-30 split. It's 1 year with options to renew for 2 additional 1-year periods.
Okay.
Item number 2020-84 is a ratification of a contract with Random Productions. This was permission to film Lovecraft Country Season 1, and this is $5,000 revenue. $5,000 revenue. Item number 2020-85 is an agreement with Snap & Shoals EMC. This is for recreation and maintenance. It's a conditions of service to provide a new entrance gate at the water resources at Tatum Road. This is a no cost.
You can repeat that. No cost.
No cost. Item number 2020-86 is a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding with the National EMS Incorporated for the Fire Rescue Department. This is for EMT clinical training. Again, no cost, and this is for 2 years, and it is a ratification. Item number 2020-87 is an agreement with Atlas Technical Consultants for the Transportation Department, and it's to provide operational and program management support services. The contract is based on hourly rates. Item number 2020-88 is a contract with DataWorks Plus. This is for the Sheriff's Office, and it's a maintenance agreement for their handheld fingerprint scanners, $2,140. Item number 2020-89, Centennial HP LLC. This is the dedication of public water and sewer agreement for 3131 Denard Road. And that concludes the contracts.
Okay, all right. Deputy Director Jacobs.
Good evening.
All right, good evening.
So we just have one rezoning request this week. Item 2020-90 is for 1886 Parker Road, approximately located between Flat Shoals and 138, almost behind Lowe's in that general area. So the rezoning they're requesting is from a C1 local commercial to OBP Office Business Park. This is for a plumbing contractor facility. This is the first read, so we are requesting this application be forwarded to the Planning Commission.
Thank you. All right. CFO Miller.
Good evening. The first item is a requisition, and this is for maintenance. This is United Maintenance. This is preventive maintenance. This is an annual contract for our HVAC system. The next is technology services. This is for database administrative services. Water resources is for easement clearing. It's another requisition for water resources. This is for a 2020 Ford F-550.
Is that for one truck?
Yes, it's a pretty big truck. Huge. Yes.
Dr. Gibbs is going to tell us about the makeup of this vehicle costing $107,000.
I try, yeah.
Dr. Gibbs, this is not your average run-of-the-mill Oldsmobile.
No, it's not. It's not. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioners. The F-550 is a Super Duty truck. You're looking at a truck that's the standard for utility. It can carry a crane. It can carry a crew of 5, up to a payload of about 10,000 pounds. It's one of the larger trucks you see out there with a lot of the water equipment on there. It's replacing a F-350, 2001 F-350 unit.
Isn't that the one with the 2 wheels on the back?
The dually.
Yeah.
It has a couple back there. Yeah, it does.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Gibbs.
A pretty big truck. It's huge. The next is surplus of equipment. We have the fire rescue. They are requesting to surplus a 1992 Ford. And we have recreation and maintenance requesting to surplus a refrigerator. We have the sheriff's office requesting to surplus computer equipment. The next, we have a requisition. This is technology services, and this is for security awareness training. for county employees. The next is technology services. This is part of our refresh computer.
Can we go back to the technology, security awareness?
Yes.
Is that cyber security awareness or regular, like, looking over your shoulder security awareness?
It's a pretty good program, I think.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The KnowBe4 software is actually a training tool and assessment tool so that we send out false phishing emails similar to what we just got caught in, and we train the staff through behavioral modification, and they have to take a test and we score it. And we have documentation they have taken the test, so they're not only just made aware, but they're trained in what to look for. There are over 300 campaigns, 300 different types of emails we'll be sending, and we track it, and we'll make sure that their management tracks it.
Okay, so people don't know they're doing this?
When we send these out, there are rather innocuous-looking emails. There's some that are very obvious.
Okay, so you're sending these to everybody that's an employee of Rockdale County?
Every employee in Rockdale County will be subject to this.
Okay, so how will we be trained? What does that consist of?
A part of the process is if you click on a phishing email and do something that's nefarious, it takes you and then automatically enrolls you in a training course, an online course. It notifies your management that you've been enrolled in this course.
Oh, wow.
You have to complete it within a certain time frame, and it's scored. A copy of that is sent to your management, and we believe we can have a copy sent to talent management as well.
Okay.
So it's not just a...
So these are all internal, so
Yes.
they click on the link, but it doesn't bring in any kind of malware or anything?
Absolutely not. It's all contained.
This is really behavior training for our workforce. A lot of our employees simply don't know what's real and what's not real in terms of some of these viruses or some of these attacks that are coming through county government. So for the employee who's sitting at a console, or should I say a computer screen, on a day-to-day basis, he or she may just not know what's real and not real. This will train them to give a better eye, have a better level of alertness to start looking out and for different signs and signals, and this will engage them and enroll them in an automatic training to keep them going forward. Thus, will help protect the county from a lot of the situations that we just experienced for the second time.
And some of these phishing emails we'll send out will actually help the employee protect themselves because we'll be asking for credit card numbers.
Absolutely.
We'll be asking for passwords for your bank. So it's not just for the county systems. It will look as if it's coming from all over.
So I got a weird email this week that I didn't recognize the who it was from, and it said invoice or something on it. I didn't even open the email. Is it okay to open an email like that and look at it, or should I just delete it before I open it?
Absolutely not. Do not open it. If you don't know the addressee, don't open it. If you do open it by happenstance because it looks like someone you know, hover the mouse over the link, and it'll tell you where it's going to take you. More often than not, you're not going to recognize where it is. Don't click on the invoice. And what we tell the employees internally, if your job is not to pay invoices, don't click on an email that talks about paying an invoice.
Okay.
Thank you.
I didn't.
Thank you very much.
And that was it. The next was a computer refresh to purchase new computers.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Director Miller. And thank you, Director Yerriton, for that quick overview. The very serious nature of what we've been experiencing in terms of cyber attack and security is very critical to the day-to-day operation of county government. Moving on to the volunteer appointments at this time, Director Rutledge.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next item is volunteer appointments. It's for the Library Board of Trustees.
Is that on?
They're working on it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I apologize about that. For the Library Board of Trustees, we have 3 reappointments. That would be Dr. West.
Okay, we'll take 3. What we have before you are the volunteer appointments for the Library Board of Trustees. We have 3 reappointment requests. That would be Dr. West, Ms. Rustin, and Ms. Thomas. And we have a new appointment. It's the recommendation from the Conyers Civic League, and that would be Ms. Mary Ann Robinson. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. All right. Okay, Commissioners, we're now down to public comment, and we have several red comment cards here. If you wish to participate in public comment and you've not had an opportunity to fill out the comment card, we encourage you to do that at this time. We certainly like to hear from you tonight.
Okay, while we're gathering the rest of the public comment cards, I'll read. As a reminder, public comment is limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Comments relative to any issues that are currently going through the public hearing process, matters that are in active litigation, political campaigning, or partisan politics will not be heard in this meeting. Speakers are to address the chairman, not each other or the audience, and are expected to conduct themselves in an appropriate manner. The use of abusive or profane language shall not be allowed. No debate or argument between speakers and/or members of the audience shall be permitted.
Thank you, Director Rutledge. First up is Ms. Wendy Armstrong. Ms. Armstrong, come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Wendy Armstrong. I'm a resident of Rockdale County and have been for 5 years. I've worked in this county for 16 years, and I am here tonight to